Welcome, Texas Engineering graduates, family, and friends. Please find your seats. The ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. You can scan.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this very special night at the Moody Center. My name is Roger Bonicace, and I'm the Dean of the Cockrell School of Engineering. It is my honor to welcome you all to the 2025 Engineering Commencement at the University of Texas at Austin. This is one of my favorite days of the year, the celebration of the hard work and determination of all the bachelor's degree candidates, soon to be official Texas engineering graduates. Graduates, this is a time of joy for everyone who helped you get to this point. Your family and friends have given you so much. They have supported and believed in you, and tonight they've all come to share one of life's great achievements with you. So graduates, please stand and thank your family and friends. Commencement is also an amazing day for all of us in the Cockrell School because we take great pride in your success. You are our courageous engineers. We are privileged to have contributed to the education and development of the next generation of engineering leaders and innovators. The Cockrell School is dedicated to building a strong and supportive community for our students, a community fostered by dedicated professors and staff who care deeply about our students' success and well-being. The faculty members, some of whom are on stage with me this evening, are world-renowned thought leaders, award-winning researchers, and influential inventors. Most importantly, they are committed to teaching and advancing engineering education. This devotion to the educational mission of the Cockrell School is one of our core values as an institution. Please join me in recognizing this exceptional faculty. A central mission of the Cockrell School is to educate and inspire leaders. Each year, we recognize one of our amazing student leaders in the graduating class. We also recognize alumni who exemplify leadership by naming them outstanding young engineering graduates and distinguished engineering graduates, the highest honor the Cockrell School can bestow. At this time, I would like to ask Fernanda Leite, Associate Dean for Research, to present the Outstanding Student Award and recognize tonight's honorees.
Thank you, Dean Bonacaze, and good evening, everyone. The Outstanding Scholar Leader Award recognizes a candidate from the senior class whose hard work and dedication, both in and outside of the classroom, exemplify leadership and inspire our community. This year's recipient of the Outstanding Scholar Leader Award is Gabriela Roque Oliveira Nomura, a graduate. And I use my Portuguese there to pronounce it correctly. She's a graduate of the Department of Biomedical Engineering. Gabriela has worked in Dr. Ed Castillo's lab as a research assistant for the last 2 years. In that time, she has become an expert in infusing deep learning technology into medical imaging to improve cancer detection. Her nominators called her the best undergraduate researcher they've ever encountered. She quickly mastered the key technologies in her field, and she cares deeply about improving healthcare and making it more accessible for people around the world. Gabriela has won prestigious grants and presented papers at major conferences where she was the only undergraduate in the room, surrounded by PhDs and MDs. Outside the lab, Gabriela has volunteered at elementary schools to engage the next generation of engineers and scientists and taught young people about cancer risks from nicotine addiction. This fall, Gabriela will continue her journey in Houston, where she will pursue a combined MD and Master's in engineering. Congratulations, Gabriela. Parabéns. Would you please join me at the podium? I'm also pleased to honor 5 distinguished engineering graduates and 1 outstanding young engineering graduate. This year's honorees come from a variety of backgrounds and industries. Throughout their decorated careers, they have all demonstrated extraordinary vision, leadership, and ingenuity. They have started, built, and transformed companies, conducted groundbreaking research, and impacted our world in positive ways. We couldn't have asked for more inspiring role models for our engineering students and community. At this time, I would like to introduce our outstanding young engineering graduate, Albert Swantner. Albert earned his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering at the University of Texas at Austin in 2007. Albert is the Chief Technical Officer of Save Day, the only $0 employee cost 401k provider for small and medium-sized businesses. In this role, he helps millions of middle-class workers build retirement savings and generational wealth. He is also co-founder of Nameless CPG, a company founded to help small, struggling brands extend their runways to fund further growth, with a particular focus on wellness, supplements, and better-for-you food. The brands that Nameless CPG support include a Texas-based women-owned health brand. Congratulations, Albert. Would you join me at the podium? At this time, I would like to introduce our first distinguished engineering graduate, Ahmad Al-Sari. He earned his bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Texas at Austin in 1970. He founded and led a variety of businesses in Saudi Arabia. In 1979, he co-founded an IT services company that expanded into a diversified group of businesses spanning IT products and services, training, K-12, and higher education. Today, he focuses on investment and philanthropy through his family office. Congratulations, Ahmad. Our next honoree is Shahnaz Hemati. Shahnaz earned her bachelor's degree in electrical engineering in 1985. Shahnaz has more than 30 years of experience in technology. She is the co-founder and chief operating officer at Zen Business, a digital business management platform that provides budding entrepreneurs and small business owners with a complete set of services to simplify the process of starting, managing, and growing their business. Her impressive legacy in the tech world also includes serving as Global Vice President of Technology at HomeAway. Congratulations, Shahnaz. Would you join me at the podium? And to stick with tradition, Shahnaz, you are a distinguished engineering graduate. Our next honoree is Jillian Jopling. Jillian received a bachelor's degree in petroleum engineering from the University of Texas at Austin in 2004. Jillian is a senior vice president at Hillcorp, one of America's premier independent energy companies. Known for her leadership, entrepreneurial spirit, and commitment to operational excellence, Jopling plays a key role in driving growth and innovation within Hillcorp Energy, where she has spent her entire career. A seventh-generation Texan, she actively supports historic preservation in Houston as president of the Houston Heritage Society. Congratulations, Jillian. Would you join me at the podium? Jillian, you are a distinguished engineering graduate. Our next honoree is Peng T. Ong. Peng received a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering in 1986. Peng is an entrepreneur, founder, and investor with more than 25 years of experience in Silicon Valley and Asia. He is the co-founder and managing partner at Monks Hill Ventures, a leading early-stage tech venture capital firm in Southeast Asia. As an entrepreneur, he co-founded a series of successful companies, including Match.com, Interwoven, and Centruate. Peng also helped set up Angsana Council, a nonprofit group that is committed to increasing the growth and prosperity of Southeast Asian businesses and economies. Congratulations, Peng. Would you join me at the podium? Peng, you are a distinguished engineering graduate. Our final honoree is Jim Weethorn. Jim received his bachelor's degree and master's degree in architectural engineering and PhD in civil engineering, all from the University of Texas at Austin. I had the privilege of serving as Jim's PhD supervisor, which makes it especially meaningful for me to present him with this award today. It's a proud moment to recognize not only his outstanding achievements, but also his PhD journey. And one thing that I'll say is for all you graduates out there that complained that your data collection was taking way too long, well, try several decades. For more than 50 years, Jim has been involved in the construction industry. He's one of the world's foremost experts in crane safety, evaluating more than 1,300 crane and rigging failures worldwide. Many of these were part of his PhD dissertation. Jim is a third-generation general contractor. Earlier this year, he was recognized for his work to make construction safer with a selection to the National Academy of Engineering, one of the highest honors in the field. Congratulations, Jim. Would you join me at the podium? Jim Weethorn, you are a distinguished engineering graduate. All of you are dedicated engineering professionals, industry leaders, and passionate supporters of higher education. Your success and determination inspire everyone in our community to aim high and dream big. Can we all give this year's distinguished engineering graduates a final round of applause? Thank you all. Dean Bonacaze, I turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Leahy. What an incredibly accomplished group of individuals. I now have the great pleasure of telling you a little more about one of our previous distinguished engineering graduates, Edgar Figueroa. He truly embodies the qualities of courage, innovation, and persistence that are reflective of our Cockrell School community. Edgar earned his bachelor's degree with honors in mechanical engineering from the University of Texas in 1994 and went on to receive a master's of science degree in technology commercialization from UT in 1998. Raised by a single mother in Guatemala, Edgar learned the importance of grit, drive, and positivity at a young age. In his formative years, Edgar worked as a mechanic, from car engines to large excavators. In 2007, he became president and CEO of Wi-Fi Alliance and led a period of extraordinary growth. If you use Wi-Fi today, and I'm sure you all did, to read your email, check the weather, or post a graduation selfie, you really do have Edgar to thank for this. When Edgar was accepted into the Cockrell School, he received a scholarship. Today, Edgar and his wife Colette pay that generosity forward by supporting mechanical engineering students through their endowed scholarship and their estate. Please join me in welcoming engineer, philanthropist, and Longhorn, Edgar Figueroa.
Thank you for the kind introduction. It's an honor to be here, and I'd like to start by thanking all the people who supported the Cockrell class of 2025, including the graduates' families, the university, and the esteemed faculty and generous benefactors. Thank you. You helped prepare our graduates to achieve their potential and to make significant impact. Now then, congratulations, Texas engineers. I am so immensely proud of each and every one of you. Your story now has the indelible hallmark of a Cockrell degree valued everywhere. And I hope the aspirations that fueled all your hard work to get here manifest in a marvelous future for you. My plan is simply to underscore the broad applicability of your degree and to share 3 principles that underpinned my career. I clearly recall the significance of my own graduation more than 30 years ago, like it was yesterday. My late mother and I shared a precious moment before this ceremony when we locked eyes and spontaneously cried for a bit. We were emotional because we felt that with my graduation that day, we won the lottery. And I am thrilled that today is that day for you all. Soon you'll grab your winning ticket, and with it, you'll chart your own path from an exciting universe of opportunities you have ahead. I can attest to the wonderful opportunities that Cockrell education can bring. For example, I saw people's amazement when my colleagues and I, they thought my colleagues and I did something incredible, something they just could not believe they would see in their lifetimes. And I also once found myself facing a room of the communications industry titans with no less than the future of Wi-Fi in peril. But before I get ahead of myself here, let me just give you a little bit of context and I'll come back to these stories. I worked with a company that developed core technology for live internet communications, which led to tools we use regularly today, like FaceTime, Zoom, WeChat, WhatsApp, many others. And then I also worked with Wi-Fi, and for 15 years, I led the Wi-Fi industry as Wi-Fi Alliance president and CEO. Wi-Fi Alliance, in case you're not familiar, is a worldwide consortium of about 1,000 companies who work to develop and define Wi-Fi and address any obstacle to Wi-Fi adoption. When I started as a mechanical engineer, I had no idea that eventually I would land at the epicenter of such transformations based on network protocols and radio communications, areas very far afield from my own Cockrell degree in mechanical engineering. And the important thing is that my evolution is not uncommon in engineering. Your training is so invaluable and practical that no matter whether you pursue engineering or pursue something different eventually, or whatever your discipline is, you will steer your own journey because your talent and resolve will distinguish you and largely determine how far you go. You heard a little bit of my background. I'm a case in point. I was born in the 1960s in Guatemala and was raised there by my single mother who only had a second-grade education. By the 1970s, Guatemala was ravaged by civil war and repercussions from a devastating earthquake that killed over 20,000 people. And all of that made life hard, a daily struggle, really. And often my mother did not know how she would secure our next meal. Since my story spans from housing and food insecurities to projects that benefited the world, on occasion, I'm told that it sounds like fiction. But in fact, mine is just one real example of the impact of a Cockrell education, the magnificent thing we all share. The Cockrell School of Engineering made my story possible because here we learned the power of perseverance, the virtues of collaboration, and the thrill of being part of something meaningful. Look, if someone like me, who came from nothing, went out and did what I did with my Cockrell toolkit, then surely any of you can go on and lead the next breakthrough that dramatically improves our lives. So I hope today you are inspired, confident, and optimistic, and that you take that spirit with you wherever you go. To that end, let me share 3 keystone principles that help me to live with intention and to maintain happiness and balance. The principles are simply worthy work, constructive collaboration, and an attitude of gratitude. Admittedly, these sound like platitudes, so let's get into them just a bit more here. The first principle is worthy work. Your degree was worthy work, clearly, of course. So now you're done. Cherish this precious moment, this wonderful feeling of success and accomplishment we shared today. And I have good news. Fortunately, throughout your career, you can experience this very feeling right here repeatedly if you ensure your work merits your time and talent. So work in areas you believe in, on projects that embolden and impassion you. Worthy work is just part of a life well lived in a great way to channel your energy toward fulfillment and significance. When I came to the United States in the 1980s, my mother had to stay in Guatemala. And back then, we lived practically in the stone ages of communication. Let me tell you. We had no social media, no internet, no mobile phones. I don't mean to make you cry. What we had was something called long-distance calls, which was akin to paying a lot of money for international data roaming anytime you called someone in another city, and worse if they were in another country. So in that critical time when I was 13 and 14 years old, I rarely spoke with my mother in Guatemala because long-distance calls were too expensive. It was miserable. Once I was an engineer, the possibility of working on more affordable communications for everyone, that truly inspired me. So I left that terrific and renowned employer to work on internet-based communications at a startup. And our goal in that small company gave us a ferocious sense of purpose every day. Coming back to one of the stories I teased earlier, in that small startup, we were on the cutting edge of digital communications back in around 2000, when we began enabling internet calling for our customers. And I won't forget their look the first time they made a video call. They thought it was incredible because they never imagined that they would be able to make a video call from their computer, let alone to anywhere, for free. This was still in that era of long-distance calls, right? So many had the look of a child who just saw a magic trick. They understood this was transformative, and that they were among the first people ever to have this experience. That word shattered convention, and it gave us a drive that you get when you are working on something significant, when you're engrossed in something good. That drive, that's the difference between a job and worthy work. You will need that drive to do great things and to steer what's sure to be a nonlinear career in the direction of worthy work. Speaking of nonlinear careers, in the 2000s, I surprised friends by taking a lower position just so I could work on Wi-Fi in its early days. By the time I retired, Wi-Fi carried most of the world's data traffic, and its economic impact was in the trillions of dollars. But it might surprise you to hear I did not learn about Wi-Fi in college. In fact, I didn't even use Wi-Fi back then. That's because Wi-Fi did not exist when I attended this remarkable university. Live internet communications and Wi-Fi were epochal shifts. And the thing is, similar shifts are guaranteed to happen in your career span too. Breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, materials, energy, they all attest how transformation is happening everywhere. I'd say faster than ever. Therefore, eventually it's likely that you too will work in areas that do not exist today. Epochal shifts coming in your career are just more chances to work, engage in work that matters. But you must be ready by investing in your development, by being true to your interests, and by staying curious about happenings in the world beyond your current job. I hope that throughout your career, you can experience the passion and pride that come from worthy work. Moving to the second principle, constructive collaboration, don't believe the myth that genius engineers are lone heroes working in creative isolation. Patents, for example, tend to have numerous names on them because in reality, one person's talents alone are not enough. So be a model engineer by working well with others. Naturally, collaboration is the hallmark of high-performing teams and accelerates innovation, but it might surprise you how much collaboration enriches your own life. For instance, in the Navy, I learned that in the face of grand challenges, collaboration fosters more meaningful interpersonal relationships. And relationships are what life is all about after all. The most significant roles, the biggest jobs that I had resulted from relationships that I built on a foundation of collaboration. Now here at the Cockrell School, you acquired solid technical skills that will naturally increase with experience. Now I encourage you to invest heavily in your collaboration skills, which, to be clear, include people, communications, and leadership skills. Indeed, you may find that as you become a better and better collaborator, you also become a more well-rounded, adaptable, and relatable person who people want to work with. As CEO, I made collaboration a credo because advances in Wi-Fi require galvanizing countless people in hundreds of companies. Currently, there are about 25 billion Wi-Fi devices in use. 25 billion is more than the number of cars, televisions, phones, and people on Earth combined. Wi-Fi proves clearly what we can achieve when like-minded people collaborate. Let's recognize, though, is that collaboration is also an effective way to work out our differences. Let's go back to that instance I mentioned with the fate of Wi-Fi and the balance as an example. In 2015, I received calls of concern from the likes of the Federal Communications Commission and the offices of several members of the US Congress and Senate because there were plans to deploy 4G LTE and ultimately 5G connectivity at scale over airwaves already in use by technologies like radar and Wi-Fi and others. And people were alarmed about the possibility of interference among all of these vital technologies. I was chosen to lead the mitigation effort, and we brought together the key folks with conflicting interests from all the affected industries. This is how I found myself facing a crowd of communication industry heavyweights who mainly thought of me as their rival. Predictably, from the onset, discussions took an acrimonious tone. In time, though, through listening and debate, we started building respect. And then trust that led to progress and ignited momentum. And many were surprised when, after a year and a half, we delivered the technical nuances to avoid that interference. Without that collaboration, many of your wireless services today, including Wi-Fi, would be more limited. And the point of the story is that often the best solution to our differences is the solution we develop together. Constructive collaboration is the engineer's superpower. The third and last principle on my list is an attitude of gratitude. To be clear, gratitude is more than a feeling. It's a perspective. It's a way of being. I cannot explain why my life evolved such that Dean Bonacase would ask me to address you today. What I can tell you is that I received much help. Being grateful honors that support and has enabled me to give the best version of myself to my loved ones and my profession. Like me, you worked hard, received the occasional support and help from others, and now with your engineering degree, you face tremendous fortune. In fact, it's safe to assume that as you get into your profession, your achievements will accumulate. You may pursue ever greater aims as you explore and expand your potential. Success may even raise your sense of self-worth. Just remember that true happiness depends on recognizing all that is good in our lives. For example, don't forget the significance to have arrived here, or the privilege of the help you receive along the way, or the honor of so much opportunity to make a difference. Making a difference by supporting others is a profound way to show appreciation that brings its own unique rewards. Now, clearly there's much that I'm thankful for. The sacrifices that my mother made, the awesome scholarship I received from the University of Texas, the jobs where I made an impact. But let me tell you something. Some of the most profound gratitude that I've felt is being able to provide a better life for my mother while she was still alive, to help kids in Guatemala get their own education, and to support deserving college students right here, because somehow these actions reward me with perspective, balance, and deep satisfaction. And my wish is that you too can enjoy the heights of such fulfillment and richness in your life. In conclusion, it's a privilege to share this special occasion with you all. I'm humbled when I think of the talent, tenacity, and resourcefulness in this room. You represent our best. Your Cockrell bona fides mean you can think big, take calculated risks, and be influential in any endeavor. Maximize the gift of your talents. Use your talents for good. We need your brilliance to create a better future, and for what it's worth, now you heard about worthy work, constructive collaboration, and an attitude of gratitude. And now, it's your turn. Go change the world. Welcome.
Edgar, thank you so much for sharing your inspiring advice and perspective with our new graduates. We are proud to have you as a member of our community and grateful for everything you've done to support the Cockrell School, the engineering profession, and our students. So congratulations again to all our distinguished engineering graduates. They will now return to their seats with their friends and family. Thank you. All right. It is now my pleasure to introduce the members of the leadership team of the Cockrell School of Engineering participating in tonight's commencement. First, the chairs and representatives from our 7 engineering departments. Dr. Clint Dawson from the Department of Aerospace Engineering and Engineering Mechanics. Dr. Edward Castillo from the Department of Biomedical Engineering. Dr. Delia Milliron from the Makeda Department of Chemical Engineering. Dr. Robert Gilbert from the Fairbours Massey Department of Civil, Architectural, and Environmental Engineering. Dr. Deanna Marculescu from the Chandra Family Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Dr. Donald Siegel from the Walker Department of Mechanical Engineering. And Dr. Matthew Balha from the Hildebrand Department of Petroleum and Geosystems Engineering. Other members of our academic leadership, Dr. Jerry Speitel, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. Dr. Fernanda Leite, the Associate Dean for Research. The commencement ceremony is led by 3 marshals, Faculty Marshal C. Tyler Dick of the Fairbours Massey Department of Civil, Architectural, and Environmental Engineering. Faculty Marshal Natada Panpradit from Department of Biomedical Engineering. And Undergraduate Marshal Michelle Meyer, Assistant Dean of Engineering Student Services. And now for the main event, the confirmation of degrees to our candidates. Dr. Dawson, will you please begin the commencement ceremonies?
Thank you, Dean Bonicays. I present the Bachelor of Science candidates in Aerospace and Computational Engineering. Grant Kudlowski. Dennis Lloyd Carroll, Jr. Jonathan R. Odima. Sarav Kumar Garg. Vanshik Chowdhury Alluri. Pranay Samaneni. Rebecca Nicole Schilberg. Maximo Donato Torres Rangel. Luciana Marie Conjura. Maritza Michelle Miranda. Corbin Kane Mayer. Fernando R. Sosa. Amy Lynn Manning. Holton Ryan Leach. Carol Sony. Aiden Robert Taylor. Brazos McDonald Donovan. Thomas Ganser. Blake Aaron Mulvaney. Samuel Alexander Swift. David Gale Valenzano. Andrew James Doty. Tin Yin Wu. Mihir Yogesh Bindre. Connor Feldman. Sasha Lee Granhold. Anastasia Alexis Herberger. Abigail Ruth McDonald. Nicholas Felipe Giglio. Dennis Hum. Jackson Dillard Tanner. Landon Davis. Cade Robert Armstrong. Abhinav Deepak. Andres Iglesias. Umal Imamuddin. Nicholas Random Krishner. Chris Joel Wilson. Anshu Pale. Avi Singh. Ryan Dennis Lawler. Zihan Vincent Lee. Charles William Bell. Katie Elizabeth Denton. Stephen Yehuk O. Trey Allen Gower. Jacob Michael Hanos. Jeet Chandresh Patel. Avia Kara. Atharva Manoj Kalamkar. Madison Elizabeth Silver. Alexander Kwang On Nguyen. Braulio Lopez. Alexa Nicole Rutledge. Alexander Paul Gasson. Roman Stefan Roussel. Maria Elaine Barsotti. Helen Miriam Jayesh. Arisha Pervez Lakhani. Tori Nicole Schultz. Kristen Elizabeth Adams. Nabil Yasuf Ali. Sanvi Athota. Shresha Ventrapragada. Amanda Wen-Ji Lee. Jeremiah Kuk-Do. Richard Wanernos. Camilla Jamil Madera Bencomo. Nathaniel Cloud Beasley. Du Quinn C. Wynn. Hannah Marcus. Abigail Butler. Arsh Dawa. Michael Anthony Sanchez. Mackenzie Lee Haub. Calix Alexander Kidwell. Irvi Srinath Alamela. Zachary Thomas Paul Muckler. Buckner Augustus Newberry. Camden Lee Dortch. Ryan Bateman. Gabriel Addison Bishop. Ryan Timothy Grassman. Taj Lee. Jose Luis Flores. Hunter Michael DeLeon. Jacob Woodruff Love. Sohan Agnihotri. Rohan Kamal Pupala. Terry Mark Murray. Andres Suniega. Jenna Ann Lay. Mia Isabella Villarreal. Kaliche Emarua. Mahiro Suzuki. Miranda Renee Lambert. Devin McKenzie Beck. Chloe Wong. Anna Victoria Mattis Lavelle. Benjamin Ilish Dunstone. Noah Ian Sell. Bryce Christopher Terhune. Pranad Matojo. Quinn Russell. Orion Josh O'Connor. Pavni Ray. Miguel Angel Gonzalez. Preston Avian Alvarez. Melanie Marie Donate. Yahir Antonio Martinez. Dylan James McIntyre. Antonio Older Jimenez. Dominic Wynn. William J. Lee. Gaurav Mitra. William Zhang. Daniela Leticia Sanchez. Mohammed Tahar. That concludes the candidates in Aerospace and Computational Engineering.
Dean Bonacase, I present the Bachelor of Science candidates in Biomedical Engineering. Gabriela Roque Oliveira Nomura. Joseph Sung O Park. Sam Daniel Goldberg. Samara Hook. Sam Biene Jonas. Macy McKee. Zaina Al-Sarraj. Emily Ann Yemington. Lakshya Karanan. Patricia Ann Ashorn. Ashwin Gupta. Noah Aloha Shunk. Grace Rose Welch. Aaron Tin Luong. Holland Emerson Ernst. Hey, Margaret. Margaret Elizabeth Bracken. Ryan Andrew Reinhardt. Rami Tarek Helmi. Fong Kim Mai Huang. Shriker Sadhu. Atira Nair. Andres David Luengo Martinez. Isha Ramanan. Noah Matai. Joshua Raphael Joseph. Jeffrey Chong. Naveen Sunesh. Rachel Christine Pitcock. Natalie Katrine Zikas. Ariana Natalie Martinez. Jennifer Lam Wynn. Grace Marie Cropper. Lorenzo Noel Huerta. Nikolai Kalel Ang. Subiska Jayakumar. Laura Ann Murphy. Canella Cohen. Sarisma Rachel Valdivia. Tanya Guillen. Emily Elizabeth Zapeta. Brian Zachary McHorse. Sua Park. Alan Fletcher. Tyma Crean. John Nita. Ariana Simone Montero. Dhruv Kapoor. Sarah Milliken. Gabrielle Elizabeth Pontier. Annabelle Alamond. Davina Chow Tran. Nikita Villegas. Akansha Travla. Shreya Bandaru. Maggie Caroline McGaw. Taylor Umu White. Kayla Sherelle Lewis. Talia Farrow Mosley. Taylor Samantha Sullivan.
Big win! Woo!
Nicholas Reagan Grammer. Karina Gibson. Madison Nuvar. Zine Monier Oyembanji. Anna Nagawa Choebi. Sahil Mangarolia. Dara Milakshu Marpu Rohit. Nimeshka Devarakonda. Jesse Peng. Kiani Yen Tre. Carla Sarahi Mejia. Jordan Mai McMullen. Hannah Taylor Keeker. Christopher Chuang. Drew Paresh Patel. Brian Yen Duan. Waikai Ji. Nitya Merle. Shruti Garia. Aditya Kartik. Kushi Harimat. Daniel Antonio Montez. Trinity Zina Orales. Neha Krishnan. Saja Salam Sawatre. Hala Tarek. Diego Hernandez. Kathleen Ann Schmidt. Leanga Vividini Athlij Dona. Ashta Bachia. Victoria Kaptalova. Daniela Lopez de los Santos. Hera Leki Odoche. How's it going? You made it. Joki Gitau. Mitchell Litvinov. John Wook Luke Yoon. Jason Michael Kowik. Leopold Guo. Justin Ho Oyang. Brian Christopher Muller. Sarah Ho. Gavin Thomas Lebrun. Akash Gunaish. Siddharth Saha. Rucrio Fernando Gutierrez. Aiden James Cardona. Andreas Anissa Torres. Keenan Igar Wa Adakishi. Mohammed Ibrar Rehan. Ulawatobi Benjamin Okeowo. Stephen Andrew Siekman. Amira Ruby. Sanjali Milap Majmuandar. Juhi Julia Lee. Isabella Francisca Gilbert. Lawrence Quinto. Kiati Malik. Ayuth Moncia. Huda Savizia. Noor Hisham Bashir. Tracy Wynn. William Bedrosian. Patience Faith Oliveira. Lauren Adams. Karina Katan Abani. Sanjana Chimotiru. Gloria Alessandra Zantokskoy. Zenep Korkmaz. That concludes the candidates in Biomedical Engineering. Hook 'em.
Dean Bonacase, I present the Bachelor of Science candidates in Chemical Engineering. Elisa Kirsten Grieve. Brooke Lydia Schroeder. Grace Son Lai. Corinne Elizabeth Oliver. Anton Gavrilko. Gabrielle Poveda. Gabrielle Marie Karamian. Karthik Kher. Aditya Sivakumar. Frando Escamillo. Kevin Mo. Ethan Lee. Adrian Alexander Garcia Estrada. Mariana Isabel Villarreal. Ashi Rastogi. Jordan Gabriela Yo. Kara Nicole Fowler. Liam Anthony Benner. Georgios Stravos Pafilis. Sichan Raymond Guo. Rupin Sachin Vadia. Karthik Iyer. Kenneth Carver Scheibel. Benjamin Kumela. Joshua Elias Chavez. Noah Park. Aaron Barcio. Josephat Corva Rubias. Andante Naradipa Bimapucha. Andrew Song Huang. Hien Tam Nam Pham. Anna Marie Martinez. Sarah Pagnis. Brianna Alyssa McDonald. Yusuf Ahmed Katab. Sutton Landers Carleon. Tyler David Ozelton. Isabel Mary Louise Klee. Adachi Diane Emelogu Obioma. Dexton Songyi Ki. Reem Iyad Albuz. Roger Elbitar. Ali Zaidi. Rito Karazilans. Dianeth Ramirez. Brianna Jacqueline Stunda. Anna Eugenia Prestwood. Jorge Hernan Moreno Acosta. Nicholas Luis Pisani. Darius Pedro Hajibashi. Antonio Dominic Banyaga. Alexis Swain. Grace Farrell. Braden Wills. Ricardo Espinoza Fuentes. Alfredo Alexander Loza. Jacob Jeffrey Bleacher. Carlos Francisco Gomez Alvarez. Jean-Paul Lugo Carrasco. Dina Thayer Aboudiab. Jennifer May Pierce. Catherine Louise Strickland. Sydney Camille Strawberry. Cody Caitlin McMillan. Ava Breeze. Jacqueline Rose McCoy. Sophia Noel Castaneda. Madison Diane Schroed. Luis Gerardo Mercado. Ria Laura Batia. T. Mai Huang. Victoria Tatman. Annie Schwach. Emily M. Mellon. Finnegan Icarus Migoldrick. Utya Matre Trivedi. Benjamin Patrick Martinez. Hanjin Chen. Juan Pablo Dominguez. Vartan Reddy Koripali. Kimberly Duke Wong. Francis Garcia. Sean Hider Mustafa. Lindsay Clem. Alina Ruth Garcia Huitron. Sahana Suraj. Diala Bera. Neil Rakesh Patel. Kyle David Kelsey. Kyla Han Jonick. William Sutherland. Patrick Donovan Manis. Claire Chen. Joshua Robert Zeller. Jonathan Ellis Farner. Fernando Andres Peraza. Sadie Catherine Sokolowski. Xavier Jaden Gatica. Rebecca Lau. Kathy Chi. Jayasuriya Dilip. Saket Hitesh Kumar Thukar. Alex Lee Malmros. Rotik Srinivasan. Brennan James Landry. Amanda Wynn. Leonela Beatriz Reyes Hernandez. Nena Bilkis Akbar. Sankopa Buma. Sanjana Jangam. Ruth Bethany Yao. Tristan Wong. Darian Su. Abhinav Sinha. Melanie Margot Hancock. Garrett Inman Mishlik. Dennis Kraya. Cameron Katami. Jaehyun Sun. Sarah Elizabeth Rayan Cardenas. Marielle Ida Rached Erasquin. Brittany Lei Huang. Jessica Li Ming Lam. Gabriela Bastidas Reynosa. Manazir Hussam Ahmed. Mark Nicholas Bentic. Caleb James Pencarina. Zia Karim Kanjiani. Zoe Elizabeth Hackert. Olivia Paige Johnson. Nora Boomeroff. Jade Vivian Cusino. Enrique Laredo. Carol King. That concludes the candidates in chemical engineering.
Dean Bonacaze, I present the Bachelor of Science candidates in Civil, Architectural, and Environmental Engineering. Brian Alexandro Flores.
Yeah, Brian!
Felix Portillo. Matthew Ivan Gurin. Angel de Jesus Escoval. Ethan Lee Gustafson. Julian McCormick Garcia. Daniel Quelliar. Galea Denise Gutierrez. Thomas Krishman Almendra. Sophia Raquel Leal Cavazos. Rebecca Marie Gentoli. Maggie Tyler Moldver Lyon-Decker. Brianna Marie Klotzbach. Marvin Alexander Sura. Christopher Alexander Rosales. Austin Luis Turgan. Connor Moning. And Jill Augusta Mata. Michael James Gensheimer. Michael Para. James Hart Williams. Afalabi Hafiz Oyawuwa. Mohammed Lukman Shaved. Darlene Alejandra Carriga. Daniela Pacheco. Eric Daniel Salcido Jr. Marlena Suzanne Osgood. Brooke Erin Scully. Jose Manuel Vasquez. Nihar B. Galani. John Tran. Tyler Maxwell Turner. Cade Michael Johnson. Tien Zhang. Christopher Michael Aguilar, Jr. Luis Manuel Leyva. Isa Hussein Ansari. Ayana Janae Rucker. Alan Lopez. Jordan Ball. Thomas Norwood Schultz. Alexander Chu Kern Fithian Wong. Pablo Sosa, Jr. Mary Louise Springer. Suveda Suniti. Anisha Leal. Sarah Jane Kettleman. Sean James Flynn. Rohan Saripellan. Jaden Pressman. Kylan Tavon Menapace. Anna Marie Ruth Coster. Mari Claire Dalton. Mary Louise Antoinette Morellis. Alice Michelle Keys. Carmel Mizumbo. Serena O. Gabriel Jason Stefano. Melissa Garcia Royce Terran. Mackenzie Elizabeth Whitlock. Haley Grace Rosales. Lynn Tran Huang Vu. Emilio Raunvato, Jr. Cesar Estrada. Mariana Ponce Ramirez. Camille Rachel Tercios. Mauricio Virial Morales. Luis Mario Madrigal. Carol Ann Starks. Yu Zhu Li. Vincent Severino Cantu. Juan Flores Martinez. Nicholas Alexander Payne. Umi Bukta. Natalie Grace Sotelo. Sophie Snap. Nader Al Methel. Christopher Munoz. Catherine Elizabeth Ledbetter. Abigail Jane Ladwig. Sydney Faith Hornbuckle. Alexandra Alvarado. Elena Rose Brown. Julianne Allegra Bontagnan. Georgia Carino. Cara Ann Rebolido. Vivian Lamb. Rachel Tianyu Singh. Jennifer Del Rosario Rojas. Eileen Liu. Michelle Dang. Anna Elisa Bellevue. Ian Paulo Aguilar Putez. Caitlin Renee Leffel. Ezekiel Imburn. Curtis Adam Shaw. Austin Lee Sanchez. Solaris Anusa Akiro Kongdara. Stephen J. Smith. Caroline Morrow Conroy. Nicholas Prada. Andrea Paula Molina. Fred Oscar Lancaster. William Carroll Westfield. Arti Avidio. Marco Thomas Petrillo. Salvador Alexandra Torres. Aaron Ju. Sean Abel Quee. Vinay A. Shaw. Casey Colburn. Austin James Simon. Serena Twee Vundin. Dylan Croteau. Alexandra Zoe Hospital. Marcus Alexander Johnson. Joshua Eden Epps. Zoe Elizabeth Chen. Melanie Kajol Chapman. Kevin Rico Aragin. Jingju Wang. Gabriel Rodriguez. Jeffrey Liu. Mary Grace Feliciano Calara. Evelyn Lizeth Solis. Jacob Bernard Stein. Ian Davis Moore. McKinley Catherine Jackson. Charlie Porter. Adam Andres Riviera. J.C. Lee Vance. Sarah Elizabeth Hendricks. Sophie Grace Lean. Abigail Marquetta Dumonte. Jaylyn Anjul Natividad Astorga. Reese Brandon Smiley. Nicholas Esteva. Rhea Lashinger. Kristen Tran. Adam Lee Beneke. Kylie Orahowski. Carter Bell Heslin. Joshua Duran Martinez. Gabriela Sophia Rico. Amalia Danielle Newton. J.P. Lupari. Avery Michael Brennan. Jay Palacios. Luke Andrew Taylor. Miyu Shio Hoffy. Nicholas Evan Garcia. Kyle Thomas Dubose. Jaden Zui Win. Andrew Dui Huang Win. Megan Liu. Pranit Komar. Mika Alvarez. Adrian Misal Muro. Mark Rapallo. Ely Husted. Fiona Star Shonrod. Sunjunu Pamuraju. Uvani Sunki Reddy. Ethan Wells Janicek. Kanimozi Kavia Manikava Asakama. Thomas William Miller. James Samuel Martinez. Jonathan Alejandro Romero. Samantha Taylor Miller. Armando Diaz Dominguez. Jonas E. Rodriguez. Rachel Elena Kusamo. John Mai Win. Jingwen Xu. Autumn Elizabeth Rocky. Nadine Raed Rashid. Iris Lon Bradbury. Regina Ramirez Anzuras. Inbei Yoon. Daniel Kim Tran. Saram Anil Ahmed. Philip Anthony Munahan. Chloe Elizabeth Thacker. Sophia Doss. Tabitha Renee and Aya. Mariana Sophia Santos Socorro. Alyssa Min Onroy. Maylin Zamara. Harsha Venkataraman. Sumed Satish Thopti. Hannah Ka Rasinger. Kyle Tatsuo Druckman. Kennedy Ann Costantini. Jillian Rain Holt. Isa Musharraf. Ella Corin Landau. Sally Yerbukan. Laura Ayala Lopez. Joshua Isaac Garcia. Rohit S. Saini. Emily Esmeralda Alanis. Vanessa Yen Ni Brooks. Victoria Grace Weber. Farah Fahim. Erin Nicole Speck. Haya Abdurrahman Al-Bustami. Priscilla Lillian Siswanto. Lorraine Magdalena Shahlel. Jacqueline Zavaleta Denova. Kayla Lashe Cooper. Gracia Daniela Cuevas Cruz. Mia Elaine Begno. Carlos Andres Porras Cardenas. Leonardo Enrique Molano de Leon. Adrian Elias. Maurizio Luis Rodriguez. Mustafa Cecil Sarici. Emily Linnell Martinez. Ariel Vanessa Hernandez. Ishika Chandak. Isaac Christopher Prieto. Austin Nathan Hua. Brandon Wen. Zachariah Zidane. That concludes the candidates in civil, architectural, and environmental engineering.
Dean Bonacaze, I present the Bachelor of Science candidates in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Anjali Maggie Raghavan. Kyle Julian Luna. Seth Stevens. Hoyang Song. Zachary Limbrianas. Catherine Ho. Julia Catherine Brown. Diego Rafael Manicarore. Pierce Gabriel Manicarore. Paul Nathan Macaulay. Frankie Ortiz Zapata. Damian Dentes. Jason Lin. Paul Wolfgang Bessler. Neelan Thomas Garcia. Luke Michael Kadura. Caitlin Victoria Vu. Scott Crow. Nadia Houston. Gage Alexander Miller. Marianne Jade Cruz. Ana Gabriela McMillan. Zacharias Carson Pratt. Swadiptu Chakraborty. Alexander Norman Barr. Yu Yang Wu. Rodney Branford Derensberg. Moritz Amadeus Deman. Spencer Rowe Schisler. Tyler Gooding. Matthew Pierre Boulos. Brent Ames Zimmerhansel. James Sayer Goldblatt. Jonathan Brett Alverzo. Robert Dono Taylor V. Colby Scott Cummins. Samuel Kwan. Hans Samik Agarwal. Divyam Kamboj. Matthew Chauvy. Rohit Shankar Rajan. Alex Gubam Ku. Luigi Madrano. Ramez Zain Hatab. Christopher Walter Hatch. Wilmer Ramirez. Jishnu Basu. Jenna Therese May. Akanksha Arvind. Alexander Ross Sabolsik. Grace N.C. Huang. Alfonso Paul Herrera. Eric Jacob Alderson. Timothy Merrill George. Arman Hiran Vakaria. Ankit Patel. Andrew Chan. Arnav Vats. Sahil Shah. Fu Yao Yu. Min Ho Yoon. Kevin Gonzalez. Toby Foster. Christopher Michael Rodolph. Brandon Kwok Chi Win. Gordon Clement Ta. Anna Yanqing Guo. Ariane Jane. Hayden Wise Prairie. Brian Zocheng Chu. Edward Zuodi Liu. Reese Cameron Welty. Daisy Prince. Abigail Noel Vankier. Prarthana Maria Diaz. April Dolores Douglas. Anna Mae Weed. Michelle Hoen Morales. Colleen Jack Angel. Eric Macoro Mendoza Jr. Alexander Douglas Blandino. Gabriel Alexander Moore. Arya Banu Chowdhury. Jeffrey J. Gong. Amari Shamim Posin. Alexander Huang. Kevin Lee Wong. Kevin Raichi Lee. Benjamin Raymond Smith. Nick Otwani. Rohan Raghu Gupta. Kaushal Chamarthi. Nikunj Narendra Zamwar. Nishta Kaustubh Dalvi. Chinmay Krishna. Salfi Ullah Khan. Jas Zander Bonner. Jacob Michael Kim. Greta Louise Vandiford. Ashley Tu Quinn Lee. Tiana Stock Tran. Nathan Huang Nguyen. Yejin Kim. Lauren Riley Oliveira. Jeter Cadenas Ocampo. Christian Colon. Tianfang Guo. Mehul Murali. Farzan Saeed Hussein. Richard Yuan. Eileen Jin. Raymond Zhongjiang Jiang. Charles Shi. Naman Parikh. Guadalupe Melendez. Siddharth Shyamkumar. Victor Gustavo De Petris. Ashin K. Shaji. Hisham bin Taleb. Alexander Joseph Orlenza. Darren Chandran. Shriya Bangaru. Sadiksha G. Anil. Richard Pham. Ranit Gupta. Vivek Amit Keval. Ravi Uttam Kumar Patel. Jason Dang. Gabriel Mee. Sana George. Stephanie Celeste Goff. Daniela Isabel Caballero. Nandita Saranya Jayanti. Eva Simone Nance. Frank Angelo Colabrusco. Murtaza Jatparwala. Kanan Macias. Mihir Chowdhury. Vishnu Gopi. James Benjamin Carlton. Rishi Thakur. Victoria Mi Nguyen. Cameron James Kettler. Abigail Elizabeth Kramer. Pawan Kalpesh Desai. Simon Yarmowich. Ethan Russell Hale. Kale David Suggs. Weston Etong Lu. Sophia Aurora Harder. Akash Vijay. Arin Srirang Mashalkar. Deshane Liu. Daniel Kim. Andrew Kim. Paul Sujin Yi. Daniel Jamin Park. Andrew Lin Chang. Arman Hassan Kolsawala. Mary Christine Tyra. Joaquin Mael Escobar. Juan Jose Gonzalez IV. Anastasia Yang. Anand Heman Pawar. Miguel Angel Hernandez. Kirsten Anna Veer Randolph. Avani Butte. Sorry. Andrew Ji-Chen Lee. Ryan Kakesh. Peter Kelly Vale. Ayan Basu. Arnold Petrus Venter. Grant Matthew Brown. Jared Daniel Arzade. Dwalati Ranganathan. Roy Moore. Spencer Patrick Keane. Nishan Saket Jupeli. David Lowe. David Lee. Si-Yuan Chan. Joshua Huang. Luis Asil Cervantes. Felipe Golitz Joffrey. David Picor. Gibran Katlarela. Yuvraj Kalur. Akil Giridhar. Troy Harrison Dutton. Boris Hay. Siddharth Satish Iyer. Rodrigo Romero. Jefferson Hui Wynn. Joshua Taylor Valinsky. Cashel Fitzgerald. Varun Aramugan. Anusha Razdan, Megan Claire Yeoman, Rohan Jain, Hakan Mikkelsen Mongstad, Jasper Tan, Edgar Allen Turkett, Arvind Vinod, Chloe Quinn Posonsky, Justin Yuchin Chang, Stanley Yuchen Chang, Aman Arham, Sajid Bhuyan, Hugo Wong, Hamza Mushtaba, Omar Ihab El Sayed, Alex Jia Zhang, Kwokeng Kwong Trong, Rayan Shaji Zamir, Aditya Narayanan, Arnav Subramania Kashyap, Rocco Percivale, Jesus Nathaniel Hernandez, Keith Van Loo, Hyokwon Sam Chung, Soo Min Kim, Min So Park, William Thomas Shields, Ty McGrath Brinker, Tarun Reddy Rajanala, Nicholas Robledo, Varun Reddy Chowdhury, Walter McKinnon Denny IV, Noah Michael Young, Brian On, Albert Liu, Raman Habibur Kandakar, Gregory Kobiakov, Dhruv Kalra, Alex Scott Henderson, Tyler Wade Sikora, Soo Bing Kim, Jed Wong, Alexa Von Babasir, Avyay Ramanathan, Sartak Gupta, Jacob Emmanuel Bacareza Valbuena, Jeremy Tran, Maximilian Nicholas Riccioli, Edgar Edwin Rodriguez, Cassidy Lee, Wesley Sean Liu, Lizette Marcel Go Wong, Samuel Yaocheng Lee, James Paul Cheshire, Thomas Mateo Call, Akshay Munikayappa, Diego Avilas, Christopher Garza, Dylan Michael Gregorio, Nathan Jahir Sandoval. Ashwin Ram. Johannes Anjita Makuria. Ishan Sultan. Hubert Yang. Devaki Bajakal. Ayushi Sapru. Arsh Guntakal. Rylan Hanks. Sunshine Z. Lewan. Farah Kamal Bey. Ethan Urrutia. Flora Nathaniel Makoka. Gabriel Banda. Alberto Martinez. Ryan Sadat Ahmed. Harsh Bakadia. James Joseph Mahan VI. Victoria Tyler. Siddharth Thakur. Paul Matthew Popovicu. Luca Iwan Machashano. Victor Oluapamilarinayo Olugbusi. Yash Mittal. Apollo Anton Labial Ma. Jessica Kelly Romero. Shreya Vijay. Isha Damalapati. Nidhi Tipana. Zijao Huang. Jaju Wong. Varun Srinivasan. Emiliano Covarrubias. Peyton Davison. Kashov Jamdagnea Sharma. Patrick Chidozia Nwabwe. Bisam Hassan. Fahim Muhammad Imtiaz. Wasai Abdul Asr. Rofan Liu. Siddharth Banoy. Brandon Heen Nguyen. Vera Martinovich. Audrey Grace Pick. Parth Patki. Irvin Martinez. Daniel Ryan DeLuna. Jazeel Segura Monroy. Erkam Isbelir. Mustafa Amgad Nimatala. Alana Idalis Rada Pico. Gregory Fossati. Rathna Sivakumar. Raid Mohammed Al-Bogami. Suri Sunil Waudane. Kartikeya Ambari. Chenkan Yan. Inyan Ilangovan. Wesley Grant Holcomb. Jason Zhang. Jamiao Jamal Zhang. Isabella Maya Goyal. Leonangel Soto. Caleb Michael Devon. Maximino Sanchez Jr. Anthony Nicholas Hermes. Kimberly Sanchez. Melanie Sanspardo. Phoebe Tan. Luis Duarte Gonzalez. Vrinda Pandey. Ayan Chowdhury. Arjun Chintamarakash Nair. Rohan Polavaram. Timothy Ma. Cameron Brianna Pais. Abdullah Alaquil. To An Win. Rafika Fatima Noor. Sarah Nicole Mobley. Ethan Zahir Syed. Nikunj Monag Mehta. Alexa Catherine England. Abe Mittal. Cody Kamatkat. Raihan Saeed Ahmed. Raymond Pierce Wynn. Carmen Sarai Martinez. Jacob Postelnik. Gabriel de la Garza. Raj Singh Rajput. Mafiq Mahbub Ali. Richard Hong Win. Harrison Gabriel Flower. That concludes the candidates in electrical and computer engineering.
Dean Bonicays, I present the Bachelor of Science candidates in Mechanical Engineering. Paul Mihai Baltoy. Viraj Ramachandran. Jalen Rose Moreno. Quinton Sustaithru Robb. Parker Jeffrey Burton. Marius Andre Striate. Luke Anthony Waker. Cal Maybury. Campbell Don King. Charles Donahue Williams. Carson Ritchie Dodds. Colby Saderfeld. Vanishi Shumagasundaram. Jacqueline Helene Chu. Alessandra Grady. Jennifer Tu Win. Joshua Lewis. Megan Colleen Hummel. Liam Patrick Cosgrove. Quentin Cole Sulski. Zen Uriel Stefan Chu Wong. Aaron Ghosh. Oscar Zachary Ledick. Carson Matthew Lowry. Luke Elliott. Aiden Martin Gomez. Austin Andrew Wesneski. Tivon Wynn. Braden Patrick Murphy. Marco Antonio Portillo. Gustavo Cardoso. Marco Antonio Sosa. Jacob Hyder Khan. Kareem Yasser El-Khazindar. Thompson Aber Fuentes. Sean Rahman. Debtanu Bhattacharya. William Joseph Tidwell. Ian Tyler Carrion. Evan Michael Blount. Logan Charles Mikulas. Keith Richard Lowy. Jorge Luis Solis. Philip Guadalupe Ochoa. Wesley Thomas Barefoot. Braden Hawk Bartley. David Jacob Crowder. Benjamin David Parent. Nicholas Peter Armstrong Verzik. Richard Xiang. John Jiwoo Lee. Ian Ramiro Hernandez. Emily Catherine Regner. Aditi Baxter. Bethany Isabella Garcia Corneo. Emma Catherine Goolsby. Bernadette Lauralee Johnson. Devon Wayne Jorgensen. Aditya Rao. Victor Alessandri Guzman. John Lyle. Kyla Elizabeth Groskopf. Chloe Serene Luna. Bora Mert Erbil. Nolan Dean Cummins. Daniel Antonio Lopez. Carlos Ivan Chavez. Austin Sky Torres. Matthew Lucio Walsh. Ryan Edward Carpio Brown. Connor Ramses Petru. Alberto Cortez. Alden Jacob Webb. Lathan Seju Douglas. Ethan Stuck. Mateo Garcia Rosell. Luis Jose Espinoa Franco. Michael Tomlinson. Esther Moon. Nick Alexander Jaraba. Gavin Sinclair Hughes. Christopher A. Mazariagos. Sri Vignash Chandrasekhar. Julianne Anastasia Cantu. Preston Stokes Davis. Matthew Tang. Wiley Bio Melcher. Sathiya Shri Muruganandam. Caitlin Shan Lee. Nuha Ahmad Sayed. Amuya Pudma Tama. Marcel Hama Hamed. Alan N. Pham. Connor Reed Ogwen. Ernest Black Ellis Jr. Elizabeth Samyi Kaz. Eddie Flores. Esther Grace Jin. Robert Horvath. Holden Stuss. Tori Alexis Hassman. Amelie Nowen. Darren Owl. Philip Bartiloli. Gerard Antonio Cardenas. Caitlin Renee Chacon. John Alexander Ordman. Matthew James Chase. Tabish Rahman Ali. Jonathan Sicard. Juliana Teresa Rodriguez. Elizabeth Cantu Orona. Alexa Aguilar Izquier. Joshua Huidon Chung. Ishan Gupta. Jaime Salas. Daniel Solerio. Joses Paul Nunez. Brian Izmir Iturbide Serrano. Jasmine Tran. Julianne Therese Mulyari. Alana Drufel. Luis Daniel Lopez Ariseaga. Isabella Nicole Gomez. Tony Tan Lam. Edward Lee Wu. Zachary Ronald Sepulveda. Fabian Ernesto Maldonado. Zishi Huang. Ricardo Enoch Medina. Cesar Omar Fuentes. Hermenegildo Herman Molina. Joshua Rodriguez. Aaron Panasarada. Jacob Win Au. Riley Robinson. Grace Kendall Riley. Mary Louise Mannon. Charlotte Rose Fairfield. Alexandra Kayla Vaughn. Ruby Dawn Tooney. Luke Saunders Abrahams. Hannah Emily Boucher. Jordan McNevin G. Ariun Donraj. Jonah Schlosser Gleitman. Daniel Domit. Nicholas Floyd Zarbach. Henry James Sattel. Sole Lee. Nathan Kupo Noland. Sawan Jung. Trevor Kingsley Ng. Vipawashchit Nanda. Kush Patel. Abdallah Mashal. Maxwell Dashul Rowan. Andrew Chang. Darren Manny Mercado. Kira Noel Beers. Gloria Jen. Aisha Jeanette Liazola. Kaylin Grace Gilbert. Akash Karapatati. Tyler James Hom. Samuel Jack Wang. Carson Fong Win. Catherine Labie. Cindy Zoe. Dayeb Ahmed Usti. Devin Wong. Derek Fei Wu. Tom Pham. Connie Kai. Terry Zhang. Alexander Joseph Davis. Yazitri Lopez. David Uriel Hernandez Esquivel. John Aubrey Franco. Adam Ghanem. Gerardo Ricardo Scroot. Nicholas Andrew Sepulveda. Luke Robert Crawford. Rujun Liu. Brian Yee. Elisa Nicole Melash. Blake Jefferson. Colin Ashley. Vedant Joshi. Karan Singhvi. Matthew Neil Prudhomme. Evan Patrick O'Sullivan. William Bailey Stidman. Patrick Aaron Hillier. Blake William Boren. Mark Robert Boegos. Dylan Hammerbeck. Jared Scott Holt. Austin Mateo Kayanen. Thatcher McKinley Milton. Jalen Keith Melit. Jaime Valles. Samuel Finley. Razin Noor. Jen Ya Wong. Justin No. Max Chung Richter. Alyssa Dixon. Rushil Rahu Patange. Sahil Rakesha Shah. Neil Hemant Jere. Vinny Maoni. Jack Chow. Daniel Maxwell Loeb. Ilabia Sofia Carlo. Ashley Leo. Jenna Jaffrey. Carlota Wilkinson. Lauren Catherine Baker. Abdulaziz Tuwalope Babagide. Victor Gikunda. Talal Adewala Babola. Abdul Samad Ojubele. Vladimir Mizok. Hugh Kwok Ta. Tristan Anders and Goev Rogers. Brandon Alexander Montgomery. Dong Hyun Jeong. Dong Yoon Lee. Jacoby Elijah Escobar Ellison. Aaron Gonzalez. Brian Josue Barreda. Jamal Taban. Stephen Claylib Shaw. David Aguilera. John Paul Cruz. Cameron Mitchell Brewington. Adarsh Neupane. Arturo J. Corbin Kenneth Dwyer. Kevin Xin Yu. Noel Hernandez. Nicole May Newman. Anthony Alexander Alexanyan. Harish S. Sridharan. Patrick Aranda. Carissa Ann Marie Payne. Gotham Vachaspati. Rocio Bautista. Iman Madusir Zahir. Nazli Boziit. Nathan Anderson. Chase Andrew Brown. Iska Nugale Trevino. Tofik Hamsho. Halil Hamsho. Craig Rayner Thompson II. Lucas Cole Lawless. Rohan Dange. Alejandro Herrera. Thomas Rometti Haristov. Juan Ernesto Salinas Jr. Luis Alberto Baez. Alexander Mauricio Avila. Mason Henry Gilliam. Landon Morsbach. Harshan Sanam. Lokprabhat Reddy Katasani. That concludes the candidates in mechanical engineering.
Dean Bonacaze, I present the Bachelor of Science candidates in Petroleum and Geosystems Engineering. Tomas Jose Monet. Syed Al-Rafi. Seamus John Carraher. Isaac Matthew. John Ryan Sanford. Robert Kaner. Aiden Kalal. George Gabriel Diaz. Mateo Ricardo Victoria. Joshua Alexander De Leon. Richard Jackie. Fayette William Thaxton. Ty William Lawrence. Carl Rudolph Belton. Miriam Kraus. Rimily Lomas Crady. Gabriel Winston Shale. Avery Nyatien Ho. Bryce Alexander Gould. Connor Alexander Cabanis. Andrew Baring Mountain. Kendall Marie Cagney. Ashley Isabella Garland. Zoe Kaylee Boychuk. Jonathan Thompson. Justin Sivas Sodhi. Muturi Mwangi. Diamond Ray Benavidez Barrera. Brianna Gabriela Hernandez. Raha Majed Jaizani. Sarah Walid Al-Harbi. Zaina Ali Al-Fahar. Reem Khalid Al-Suwayan. Sarah Saeed Ali. Gloria Lynn Hui Lin Wee. Fayad Ahmed Al-Mansour. Mohammed Al-Qatari. Philip Donghoon Oh. Braden Popika. Caleb Simeon Garcia Wibalo. Ryan Bao Quan Din. Daniel Louis Renard. Miguel Angel Mascoro Villabos. Austin Barthel. Leonardo Di Moro. Graham Lancaster. Stephanie Benitez. Oscar Roman. Victor Manuel Uribe. Joshua Christian Garcia. Justin Rene Jaramillo. Isaac Mohammed Aliwewe. Noalfo Ilias Enadi. Isaac Andres Salinas. Eric Armando Marino Ramos. Ethan Joshua Alfonso. Roberto Diaz Alvarez. Hussein Mohammed Al-Hassan. Fahad Al-Jarbu. Diego Cuevas. Uluwadni Yito Zachariah Rayon Ogun Muya. Khaled Mohammed Al-Mojil. Emmanuel Muyaya Wa Mulamba. Ibrahim Yusuf Chaudhry. Tristan Rajnath. Nurul Adzar Hisham. That concludes the candidates in Petroleum and Geosystems Engineering.
All right. Congratulations to all our new graduates. Welcome to the engineering profession. You all have the ability to create a better world for future generations, and I know that each of you will. I'm very proud of each and every one of you. If you ever need support or advice, remember that you are now Cockrell School alumni, one of the strongest engineering communities in the world. I encourage you to remain in contact with your professors, attend alumni events, come back to campus, mentor students, and strengthen the close friendships that you've made with your fellow engineers. To keep you connected to the University of Texas at Austin, the Cockrell School is giving each one of you a one-year membership to the Texas X's, the university's alumni organization. I hope you will use this membership to stay engaged in the Longhorn community for years to come. So now I leave you with one question for you to consider throughout your careers. How will you use your gifts, your skills, and your passion to change the world for the better? The answer will be different for each of you, and the path along the way will be dotted with highs and lows. You can look to everything you've learned in your engineering education to guide you whenever you feel lost. Don't be afraid to tackle big problems. Take risks and believe in yourselves. And remember the tradition of excellence that guided your experiences at the University of Texas at Austin. Always strive to improve your life, the lives around you, and our world. As is the academic tradition, students who have not yet earned a degree wear the tassel on the right side of their caps. Once degrees are conferred, tassels move to the left. In recognition of your new status, I now invite all the bachelor's degrees recipients to move your tassels to the left as we celebrate your outstanding achievement. All right, now just a few final things. First, don't forget about the university-wide commencement ceremony tomorrow. We all hope to see you there. Also, when I call out engineering, I really need you to be the loudest in the stadium. All right, so as we bring tonight to a close, please remain in your seats until all the graduates have left the floor. I want to thank everyone for being here. To all the families, the faculty, and staff, thank you for supporting these graduates today and all along the way. And to the graduates, I have one last thing to say to you. You are engineers. You did it. All right. So, this concludes our evening. Thank you and good night.